Welcome to Best Wellness Interviews, where successful people share their thoughts on wellness and key strategies that they use for their health and well-being. I'm Kristine Best and I'm your host. Today, I'm interviewing Edward Zia. Welcome to my show, Ed.
Oh, Christine Best, I'm so honored to be with you on your show and thank you for inviting me.
I'm really thankful that you've given your time today to be interviewed.
Well, it's Christine Best. I'm not going to say no to her.
That's really sweet. Thanks, Ed. Always amazing. So let's kick this off by you sharing a little bit about you and what you do. You
Oh, you
know,
too.
what you do for work.
Oh, thank you. So teach LinkedIn, run a business network, and I generally spend my time running a lot of events and talking to people every day and pumping out content on LinkedIn. That kind of describes my life. In between picking up kids, dropping them off, all that type of thing.
Okay, so busy life.
Busy life. Yeah,
And
busy
and
life.
I know that you fly to Melbourne and Brisbane and different places to do
Totally.
networking.
Yes. Yes. So I am a frequent flyer with Virgin Airlines, and Virgin Airlines are way better than the other guys, if you know what I mean.
I fly with them too.
Good. That's why I like you. Yeah, yeah, because never fly the other guys, always fly Virgin Airlines. That's all I can say.
It's a little unpatriotic in a way because I don't fly Qantas, right?
I never said we'll talk about them. No, I didn't say them.
No. Um, yeah, they disappoint me a little. But anyway,
Yeah, okay.
let's not talk about airlines.
Airlines. Airlines.
This is about you today
Ooh.
and about some wellness things that you've been doing. And I know a few things about you.
Ooh.
So let's ask a question about what's your attitude on wellness?
I see wellness as something that's very important, underrated, and I see it as something that's very holistic, meaning that to achieve wellness, you have to do quite a few different things in unison to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a multifaceted
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it,
I used to have a very linear view of wellness, like as in if I do this one thing, I'll become well. And it's
mm.
like, no, you got to do about 8 things at once to become well, right? So it's about eight
Yes.
things you got to do at once to achieve wellness and keep like, and you can achieve it, but you got to keep wellness. You know, keeping wellness is the fun part.
It's funny you should say 8 things because my program
Oh,
is an 8D program,
oh, I did not
right?
know that, everyone. I did not know that. That is a coincidence. I did not know that.
It is a coincidence. And when I present my seminars, I have 8
Ooh,
different topic areas that I cover.
I
So
like it.
that's very interesting. And yeah, they're all very important, you know. What do you think is the most important aspect of your wellness that you found in your experience?
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest things is movement and staying physically active. Like to give a bit of context, so most of my life I've been pretty healthy and slim and all that. During lockdowns, developed a bit of a food eating disorder. Not proud of it, but it is what it is. Put on about 25 kilos and I was massive and had a lot of medical issues, really bad. Pretty much lost most of it. And the biggest thing that I've found that's helped me lose the weight is I've done a lot of intermittent fasting, but the biggest thing I've done lately is doing 20,000 steps a day. So I found that whenever I've walked a lot every day, if I look back through my life, if I do 20,000 steps a day, give or take, I've always been super healthy on many levels. And I find, yeah, I think my take of it is it's really good. It's good nutrition and eating plus really good movement. That's been my take on wellness.
Very, very good. Yes, movement is something that people
Yep.
they don't realize how important it is. And as technology increases, what do? We sit on our butts all day
Yeah.
and we're not moving. Now
Yeah.
the body actually needs movement as much as it needs air, food, and water,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
people don't
Yep.
realize that, and a lot of complications begin to show up the more you sit, the longer you sit. And it doesn't
Oh,
happen. It
yep.
doesn't happen in a few days or a few weeks, maybe not even a few months or even a year or so. But then down the track, on a
Yeah.
repeated basis, bad things will happen to you.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't mean to get political, but I'm going to get political here, right? In that, because I did can I tell you about a bit of an experiment I did a few months ago, right? Very
Oh,
scary experiment. So
mm,
I live in the North Shore of Sydney, and I live about 800 meters away from the shops, right? So yeah, 5, 10 minute walk, you're there, right? 800 meters, very close to the shops. And I did an experiment. I actually counted the amount of junk food advertisements, be it a truck or a sign or a shop window, that my mind was being hit with in 800 meters. And now I didn't even go into Woolworths. So I was going to Woolworths. I did not even go into Woolworths. Do you want to know, without even going into Woolworths, how many messages all around me of junk food I saw in just an 800-meter walk? How many messages did I see?
I don't know, 50, 60.
About 85.
There you go. Yep.
So what's interesting is that before, and if I went to Woolworths, you could probably up that to 250, right? Probably 800, right?
Easy.
But the point
Yes.
is just walking up the street, all right? Walking up the street, just inner city suburbia, right? Nothing too crazy, right? And here's a big thing I want to share, that it's the culture that makes us unhealthy, because we have so much junk food being pushed on us. And the whole thing is, as well, I'm going to have another political shot as well. It's a whole, now I'm saying this very carefully. I've got a big problem with the body positivity movement that's going on, right? I'm all for, we're all different sizes and all that. But what they're doing is that they're making obesity a good thing, right? They're ignoring science, right? And that's a problem that I've got, because, and it's so in other words, I'm actually blaming the culture. I'm blaming the culture and the environment that's leading to all our health issues. That's where I'm blaming, right? Now now we're going to take responsibility. I'm not being a victim here, but I'm just saying it's
No,
the culture that's creating the problem. What do you think of that, Kristine?
that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these interviews,
Yeah.
why Ed, going back to the 1980s, right through to the year 2000, I had a business in Sydney all about wellness. And it was
Hmm.
all based on natural therapies
Mhm.
and injury rehabilitation using, uh, I guess, a holistic approach. I don't like the term holistic, but because it's overused. But
Yeah.
I took a total view of that person, and I helped a lot of people who've been through the traditional system
Yeah.
who were not getting well. They were being treated by lots of different, or they'd tried different treatments but weren't getting well. They came
Mm.
to me. I found the root cause, and I
Mm.
helped them. They
What would
got
often
well.
be the root cause?
I found that the root cause was just bad habits that they have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I found out what they were, and I treated those things, and I gave them a program, wrote a program, and it had different facets to it, and all of those people got better. It's just the system has a way of treating people, and it's not the best.
Oh, it's terrible, because what it is that it's the thing that really got to me, right? And this is what's been really, you would say, bothering me lately, right? And
Yeah.
again, I'm actually pinning a lot on the body positivity movement, right? Because it's gone too far, right?
Yeah,
It's what
I,
they're
I
doing
agree.
now.
There's a lot of things wrong with the system.
Yeah, because culturally, they're saying they're being anti-science, right? They're just looking at in one sense they'll lecture you about science, but in this sense they won't, right? They're very inconsistent there, but they're saying that being morbidly obese is okay, and if I don't accept that I'm fat phobic, and that's an example of the culture endorsing laziness, and it's really, really
No,
bad. And this is the
I can.
stuff that I've had enough of, and I'm speaking out against.
No, I totally agree with you, but I can understand in some ways why they do that because you don't want people saying bad things about those people to those people, making those people feel bad, and then they commit suicide, right? You don't, there has to be a different way of
Oh,
approaching the
sure,
problem. But
sure,
I agree with you that they're not addressing the problem. They're
yeah,
not
yeah,
addressing the root cause, and that's very typical of the system.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so in lots of areas, not just in wellness, but anyway, that's why I'm trying to raise awareness with
Hmm,
running these interviews
nice.
and promoting my preventative health programs and
Very
seminars and
nice.
things like that to make life better for people. The problem is, Ed, people don't, they're not aware of the problems that are brewing in their
Yep.
body.
Yep.
They're
I've done that.
well, they're well. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
relate
I've
to
done that.
this. People think I'm well. I don't need to worry about anything. I don't pay any attention to my wellness because I'm
Yeah.
well. Then
Yeah.
suddenly they
Yeah.
find themselves unwell, as in
Yeah.
your case, you're a prime example, right? And it's a
Yeah.
wake-up call.
Yep. Yep.
But how much harder is it to climb back to wellness
Oh,
after you've gone down
oh,
there?
it's nuts. And I say this to everyone because, and here's the thing, this is probably a bit of justice I got because, and feel free to laugh at me, Kristine Best. And I did a bit of bad karma came my way. So I used to be a bit of a jerk my whole life, in that I'd see throughout my whole life, I'd see someone overweight. I immediately say, I wouldn't say anything, but I think you're undisciplined, you're this and that, you're just lazy, right? I would jump to all those judgments. Then I became one of those fat people. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? A, I deserved it because I was being a bit of a dick, but B, right. No, but it was interesting because now I've got my health back on track, and doing 20,000 steps a day and all that. The question is, I was asking myself, how did someone as disciplined and focused as me get in that position, and how does it everyone else? And where the actual when I followed the trail of breadcrumbs, I actually blame the culture. I know and I don't mean to throw responsibility, but the thing is, again, I did that experiment. I live in a very nice part of town. I walked 800 meters to go to Woolworths, didn't even go in. 85 bits of junk food hit me, right from what's on a truck to a street sign, right? And I'm like, hold on a second. My subconscious mind is being pounded probably at least 5,000 times a day by this stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, governments allow people to be given stuff that's not good for them. And I guess it's
Yeah.
people's choices. But the problem is they're not being educated at school to make the right choices, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
educated enough.
And I get the power of choice. But the thing is that we're being subconsciously primed all day to do the wrong thing,
Exactly.
right? Like,
Exactly.
for example, so where I live, there are, let's say, two gyms, and two gyms where I live, right? In this area. But there's at least 30 shops that sell some kind of junk food, right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
to me, it's all, but also too, it's just the focus of the system. Like if you turn on TV, right? It's all junk food advertising these
Yeah,
days,
yeah. You're bombarded
right?
with it everywhere. And
Yeah.
that's why people, yeah, and the subliminal effect of those ads, seeing people all happy
Yep.
eating all this fast food, and yeah, it looks good, and then drinking Coke actually,
Yeah.
things like that. It makes it, they advertise so much. They know the power of videos and all these happy advertising and
But
beautiful people with beautiful bodies. But what people don't realize is these things have lots of sugar, lots of
yeah.
salt, lots of fat,
Yeah.
and no nutritional value. And
Yeah.
this is where
Yeah.
people go wrong, right? I'm on your side. I agree totally with what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's funny you say that, because for example, right now I'm saying, I'm just being, I'm not proud of this, but I'm not gonna lie to you either. Right now, I'm addicted to Coke Zero. Right?
that's
I
no
gotta
good
have a
for you either.
I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. I know I'm wrong here, but I got to have a can every day, right? And what I realized was that the power of advertising. So I remember the other day I was actually listening to the way I was feeling just to do an experiment. So I was feeling really ordinary, right? Just hot, bothered, long day. And as I had a drink of Coke Zero in like the slim, sexy, red, bright, beautiful can, right? I started feeling all these positive emotions. And I realize it's exactly what you said before. I've been so subconsciously primed through years of advertising that when I drink Coca-Cola, I think of all these positive emotions and it keeps me drinking Coca-Cola.
Mhm.
Right. And that's
Mhm.
to me the key thing is, and I'm gonna have a shot at Woolworths as well, right? I know everyone's having shots at Woolworths lately, but credit to the new CEO. I do like the new CEO, right? Um, but when Woolworths were under fire a few weeks ago, that crazy CEO running his mouth all the time, um, they'll sit there and do all the stuff about healthy food, healthy this and that, but they still got a lot of chocolate. and junk food on the cash registers and the checkouts.
Of course,
They haven't changed
that's
that.
impulse buying, right?
Yeah, yeah. So at the end of the day,
that's
yeah,
why
they still want their money. They don't care.
No, that's why they changed the aisles around. Like you go to get your favorite thing in the aisle
Yeah,
that you know where it's not there. They've moved
yeah,
it. And they do that for a reason. Because while you're in that aisle, you go, oh, I'll just
yeah.
try one of those, right?
Yeah,
Impulse
keep you on
buying.
your keep you
That's
on your toes. Keep you searching through the supermarket.
it's everything's psychological about all this
Yeah,
advertising, right?
yeah,
And you're right, they bombard people with all this stuff,
yeah,
and that's not the food that's good for you. It's the
yeah.
food that makes you sick. And by the way, most of those zero sugar
I
soft
know.
drinks have aspartame in them, and it's really a poison for your body.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's,
And it's a,
it's just foreign stuff. If you put the wrong building blocks in your
oh,
body, what
yeah,
do you think's going to happen to your cells?
yeah,
They
yeah.
start,
I,
things go wrong with them.
I got to knock that Coke Zero. I know. I got to kick the Coke Zero.
You do
See, I got
not
another habit. I've
need,
just transferred my habits. Lol. There you go.
you do not need Coke Zero. You do not need Coke Zero. It's poison. It's
Totally.
poison. Has no nutritional value. Say these things to yourself, and then
Yeah, well,
you'll not want it so much. Tell your subconscious mind, because then it will go. When you go to buy it, you go, it's not good for you. It's
yeah,
poison. It's no nutritional. Good. I don't want it. Right?
totally, totally.
Okay. So that's a really good conversation, because I think it's something that people just aren't aware of. They don't think about it. It's sort of all very subconsciously done,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's all the subconscious priming, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
it's going back to the reason why I got so overweight and sick, and I developed a stack of other medical complications, all my fault, of course, right? Was I would say it's all the subconscious priming. Again, I just 800-meter walk, inner city suburbia,
Yeah.
85 bits of junk food have hit my subconscious brain. They're the ones that I noticed. It's probably 100, right? They're the ones I even picked up.
And kids will
But
notice it even more because it seems attractive.
yeah,
They're the glitzy lights that seem very attractive, but those glitzy lights are quite insidious. They have
yeah,
insidious messages underneath them.
yeah,
And
yeah.
people see, this is what I want to do is build people's awareness of
Mm,
all these
yeah,
sorts of things, right?
yeah.
So it's a great conversation, and I appreciate that you raised it. Um, what I'd like to know now then is, what kind of foods generally do you eat now?
Yeah, I lean vegetarian quite a bit. So I'm almost a vegetarian, and I've always been like that. So most of the time I'm a vegetarian unless I'm with a family or something like that. But I'm a huge fan of I like croissants, pastry, pasta. Um I come from
Okay,
an Arab woggy background. So
right.
basically anything Arabic or Italian I like. So
Okay,
yeah, basically the high carbs, the high meats, that sort of thing is what I've been culturally brought up on. But
sure.
yeah, personally today, I actually love as much vegetarian food as possible, and I like Thai food as well. So yeah, I like vegetarian. I don't like. I have a little bit of sugar, but not too much sugar. And yeah, pizza's awesome, by the way. I like pizza. So there you go.
I saw that of
Margarita,
LinkedIn.
Nothing beats a good margarita. There you go, margarita pizza.
Okay, well, that's got a lot of sugar in it.
Oh no, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's got
I,
sugar and salt in it, I'm
yeah.
sure,
Oh, it's
sure,
terrible.
and
It's like a
lots of fat.
yeah. So for the audience, a margarita pizza is like thin base, right? Cheese, basil, and tomato, and herbs.
It's really not too bad. It's kind of like a sandwich in a way, and it's not real bad if you don't eat that sort of food all the
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah.
So there
So
we go.
this is where a varied diet is really good.
True.
And my diet is similar to yours in that I like a lot of vegetable. I eat a lot of salads raw,
Gotcha.
because that's when you've got the enzymes, and most of the nutrition is there. Once you cook it, you lose a lot.
Yeah,
So my diet is mostly vegetable, and I don't eat much meat. I eat some, of course,
yeah,
but most people are I don't know. I think they misunderstand what their body really needs. You don't
Okay.
need a huge amount of meat.
Yeah.
A couple of serves a week is enough for your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's funny. I remember the film Super Size Me with Morgan Spurlock, that guy who attacked McDonald's and then lost him billions of dollars, right? I was very surprised they didn't put a hit out on him, right? But as the old film Super Size Me, as a side plot on the film Super Size Me, as part of him sort of waging his war on McDonald's, Morgan Spurlock speaks to a lot of people. He interviews a lot of health experts and people from industry. And I remember he spoke to this nutritionist from New York from memory, and she said, in terms of meat recommendations, basically you want to meat the size of a deck of cards. So basically, if you're having meat with a meal, a small deck of cards size of meat is what you have. Where today we have crazy steaks, right?
whopping big pieces
Yeah.
of steak.
Yeah, it's like it's funny. I can't even eat it. Like on a funny note, my wonderful wife Lassie and I will share a steak. We'll buy a steak. She'll eat half of it, and I'll barely eat half of it. And I'll see people next to me basically chewing down these huge chicken schnitzels, these massive steaks, and it's like, man, you don't need that much meat. It's not good for you. That's how you
No.
get a heart attack. You can't do that.
Well, I'll tell you something else about meat that a lot of people don't know. They put chemicals in it, obviously, to
Believe
extend
you.
its life.
Yeah, good day.
And those chemicals cause colorectal cancer.
Oh, lovely.
And
Butt
you can
cancer.
find that information out on
Lovely.
the Cancer Foundation or Association website, the
Yeah,
Australian
so
Cancer
it, so
website.
next time you're eating a big steak, think about butt cancer. There we go.
Yeah.
Butt
So, well, and people don't
Um,
know that they put this stuff in their
yeah.
food. So you need to be seriously considering how much of this stuff you're eating,
Yeah.
uh, and especially preserved meats and things like that. They have a lot of these chemicals in as
Damn it.
preservatives, right?
I love preserved meats. I eat a lot of I shouldn't do this. I love salami sandwiches. I'm a complete wog. I love salami sandwiches and I love prosciutto. So I have a complete wog diet. There we go. Total wog.
The reason I'm not coming down too hard on you is because you eat a lot of vegetable, and
I do.
that is a very important part of
Yeah.
a meal. So the more vegetable you eat, the better off you are. And of course, you can mix that with nuts and seeds and,
Yeah.
some grains. And I'm totally against all these white breads that people eat because they're no good for you.
Yeah. Brown
Most,
bread. I love brown bread. Wholemeal. Hit
well,
a home.
wholemeal is somewhat better.
Mm.
I don't eat that kind of bread myself, but
Or
yeah,
sourdough. Nothing beats a good sourdough.
something that's got wholemeal and kibble and things like that in it is got to be better than just a piece of white bread.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you know if you eat a piece of white bread within, I don't know, I suppose it's about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, your blood sugar levels spike up to about 12.
Oh God, I believe you because whenever I eat white bread, I always feel really. I had heaps of white bread yesterday, like in a French stick,
Mm.
right? And yeah, I felt seedy afterwards, to say the least.
Well, that's because your body is just spewing out insulin
Yeah,
to try and store that sugar and deal with that sugar.
yeah,
So what happens then later is you get a low,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
and
And
then and
you need
then
more
your body
food.
has to do something else and get other hormones out to mobilize the
Yeah,
carbohydrate for energy. So when you eat really high sugary foods or drink sugary drinks, it spikes and dips your your sugar levels, and it overworks those organs.
yeah.
Um, it's really not good for you, and those things don't work. People think they work, energy drinks and all that. They're just full of sugar.
Ugh,
They're no,
yeah.
they're no, they're no good for you.
Well,
You
yeah,
best.
one thing that scares me, and I've seen this a lot, is you get those. They have now large shots. You have those double shot energy drinks, right?
Mm.
Absolutely loaded. I've seen people drink them at 7 a.m.
Yeah, it's not a good way to start your day because
Yeah, but
round about
massive
an hour or
energy
two
drinks,
later, you're going to
7
have
a.m.
a big low. It's going to give you a
Yeah.
big dip. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's very interesting. So how much water a day would you drink, Edward?
About 5 or 6 glasses of water a day, I would guess.
Okay, that might be about a litre to a litre and a quarter,
That's
maybe.
about right. Yeah, about right.
Well, let me just shock you and
Yeah,
say that you should be drinking 3.7 litres a day.
yeah, I know. I know I can do that. I'd be in the bathroom all day if I did that.
Now, your body normalizes.
Hey, gotcha.
That's what a male, well, even if you drank 3.5 litres, that would be all right. You know, like somewhere between 3 and 3.7. If you were in that vicinity, you'd be doing okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need up my water. That'll be a good thing. Up my water
More
cap.
water,
Yeah, more
no,
water.
no zero. More water,
Oh,
no
yeah.
zero. More
More water.
water.
I need more water. Sounds good.
Water is the single best thirst quencher.
I like it.
And there are a lot of parts of your body that have water in. Even your bones have 30% water in them.
There you go. Yeah,
So,
drink some water. More water.
hmm. And your muscles are 75%
There
water,
you go. There you go.
including your heart. So,
Ooh,
yeah, um, your body needs water. That is the life force.
true that.
So now that we've picked your diet apart a little,
Right. It's
so
legit.
yeah, walking is going back to what you mentioned about doing 20,000 steps. That's great because walking is one of the best exercises you can do because it exercises all the muscles in your body.
Yes.
It helps to normalize your hormones and it chews up extra calories.
It's
And
really good.
tell me how you feel at the end of your walk. What do
I
you
feel
feel
really
like?
well. It's funny. I'm walking now, as you can tell in the video. I feel good. So I'm now at the point where is if I sit down for more than an hour, I don't feel well. Like what I find is and this is I know this is a good addiction. My body's being addicted to the exercise. So for me, I started the 20,000 steps a day challenge about 2 weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago. A, I've lost at least 2 kilos, right? I can just tell. But B, just feel good, just feel good, and yeah, it's been really good. So when I go for a nice walk, let's say 5, 10,000 steps, I feel really zen, feel in the zone. And what I do is I take and if it's during the day, I take my phone with me and make phone calls and stuff. And that's a beauty with it. You can, for a lot of people, if you got to make phone calls or you can do stuff from your phone, you can do both at the same time. So I'm exercising, but I'm also being productive at the same time, which I'm really happy about.
That's really good. So yes, when I walk, it's partly my spiritual time, and then sometimes I might listen to a book on Audible on the way back. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
I watch more crap on YouTube, so I watch a lot of right-wing content on YouTube. So there we go. So you go. So physically, I'm doing a great job, but I'm mentally poisoning myself. That's another conversation for another time.
yeah, okay. I'm not going to comment on that one. Otherwise, we'll go down another wormhole. So, yeah, we'll stay on topic here.
Yeah.
So, there are a few things that I could suggest to you about your wellness, and walking is great, but you're kind of strolling, and you really need to pick up the pace for it to have more
I do a
benefit.
bit of jogging as well. So just as a
Okay.
qualification. So with my walking,
Okay.
a lot of it is, it's funny you say it. So a lot of it, let's say I'm doing 5 or 10,000 steps, I might actually jog 2,000 steps of it.
Okay.
So the thing I find is I love doing the interval type of training, whereas you get up, what you do is, you would know this, you get up your
Yeah.
heart rate,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And then you relax. Heart rate
Yes.
drops, you get up your heart rate. So even though, so of those 20,000 steps, I would say probably at least 5 to 10,000 of those steps would be run.
Okay.
Feels
That
great. Yeah.
that's kind of verging into what they call fartlek training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interval training.
Hmm,
Exactly. Interval
exactly.
training. So I enjoy
Well,
I enjoy it because yeah, nothing it's good to get your heart rate up to keep your system all purged and cleaned and all that.
no, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very good. I'm impressed. So
But not impressed enough. I need to do better, which I am. Never stop quitting, I say. Keep striving.
yeah, so I'm really proud of you, Ed, because you've
Thank
lost
you.
how much? 25
Oh,
kilos?
look. I probably put on about 20 kilos, and I got about another. Where am I? I want to lose another 4 or 5, and then I'll be like when I was in my 20s. That's what I'm going for.
All right.
Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty good. Yeah, no,
Excellent.
it's more slim actually. It's more slim because I spent most of my life quite slim, criticizing fat people, and then I became a fatty during the lockdown. So
So does that make,
here we are, undoing all my errors.
yeah, so does that make 20 kilos you will have lost?
Yeah, I would have lost 20 kilos now. Just the other 5 I'm working on.
Oh,
But the
you want
thing is,
to lose more.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the thing is, I'm really enjoying the thing. I've really found in love with the 20,000 steps a day. It's been really good. So that increased mobility, and also too mentally, it's been really good for me as well. So a lot of people have noticed that since I've increased the steps, mentally I'm a lot more happier and more perceptive. So I found it's
That's it.
physically it's awesome, but also, as you said before, mentally it's great as well.
Yeah. And if, exercise or movement affects your whole body.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, mood, everything.
yeah,
Circulation, hormones, you name it.
yeah,
So
totally.
when you go for a walk, it actually stimulates the release of the feel-good hormones, those
That's
ones,
there you go.
serotonin, oxytocin,
Yeah,
those sort of things, right? And you know, that's what makes you feel good once you've finished
yeah,
the exercise. And your body's very clever.
yeah,
It likes the exercise, and it gets into a routine where once you get past the first week or so, that's the hardest part of
yeah,
getting into a routine. But once you do, your body actually looks forward to
yeah,
the
yeah,
exercise, because you've got this, it'll store the energy in your body, in your muscles, and then it's ready to go because it
yeah,
knows you go for exercise. And if it's a rainy day and you don't go, your body's going, but I want to go, but I want to go. And you've got this energy,
yeah.
and you feel like you've got to go, and it's like, oh, I
It's,
can't go. But if you miss a day, it doesn't matter. But the body prompts you to get up and get going because it wants to.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well
so
said, Kristine. Best. Well
it's a
said.
it's a really good thing to exercise every day. Even 15 minutes can give you a training effect.
Totally.
It increases your metabolism, and then even when you're not exercising, when you're finished, your metabolism's still raised. You're still chewing up more calories than if you had not gone for your walk.
Very well said.
So, um, I am interested in another aspect of what I consider wellness. I'd like to ask you a question about, do you have anything that's bigger than you that you do? Any other projects that you might work on, or that where you help people, other people?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I do a lot of. So I'm a Christian, proud Christian. So I do a lot of Jesus-y stuff as well. So I've done a lot of Christian outreach in Aboriginal Indigenous communities,
Oh,
and also too, I'm a veteran as well. And
okay.
with my veteran in Christianity, I talk to a lot of people about very serious issues in life. So, for example, and I say this with tragedy and pride at the same time, I get 2 or 3, usually sometimes I get 3 or 4 calls a week from people who are thinking about ending it all, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
or someone knows someone who's they're about to die, right? And so a lot of people will come to me in those very, very tender moments saying, "Hey Ed, I'm thinking about ending it all," or "Hey Ed, hey, I've lost someone very close to me. I want to talk to you about it." So a lot of the chaplaincy work I would get. So that I do deal with a lot of that in the life that I lead.
That's awesome. And how does that make you feel to actually help somebody?
Well, it makes me feel good in the way, and I'm very lucky that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has given me that gift to help people. So it's I always say it's not me doing it. I'm merely just channeling what I'm feeling to help people. So no, very very honored to be the conduit for the channeling because yeah, I don't see it's me doing it. I see it's a very higher power acting through me doing it.
That's why I'm on my journey. The Lord God put me on my journey to
There you
do
go.
this.
There you go.
So, so there is a higher power.
Oh, totally.
And yeah, and that is
Totally.
my driving force, because people need to know the truth. People need to be aware. People are sucked into all the bad messages this world offers,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm here to help.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm friends with everyone, and I got a lot of friends who are atheists, right? And whenever I'm talking to atheists, you want to know one of the easiest ways of undoing an atheist argument, right?
They'll just walk away, start talking
No,
about
no,
the
no,
Lord,
easy. Oh,
right?
prove to me there's no God. Go, go.
They
So
can't prove there's not.
you just reverse their argument. The thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
I
That's a
don't.
good one.
Whilst I'm a proud Christian, I love Jesus. I'm not a Bible basher, right? Like
No, same here.
if
Yeah.
someone wants to believe something, I couldn't care less, right?
Hmm.
But I love, but I find I love having shots at atheists
Yep.
because atheists are just Bible bashers about science. They're just Bible bashers on the other extreme. I say, well, yeah, prove to me God doesn't exist. Go. Yeah, they don't have a lot to say. They'll just deflect and try and get into a different path of conversation. But yeah, prove to me there's no God, and I'll become an atheist. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because yeah,
That's
they're
a
just
good
Bible
argument.
bashers for science or whatever,
Yeah.
or the flying spaghetti monster or whatever they're into. Richard Dawkins, they all worship Richard Dawkins. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I know. But yeah, look, that's another topic. There's a lot of
I
people
know.
who don't want to believe what you and I believe, but that's okay. As
That's awesome.
they,
Yeah, it's
they,
awesome.
yeah, they can believe what they want.
Yeah, totally.
But so anyway, I see doing things to help other people and
Yes.
doing projects that are bigger than us,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
as part of wellness,
Yeah, totally. Totally.
because it makes you feel good, and you help somebody else feel good. That helps their wellness,
Yep.
gets them out of a hole that they're in, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think helping people beyond yourself is a very important thing, and I see it as in a way as community leadership. So what are you doing for example, what are you doing in your local community to help people?
Hmm.
So for example, I'm quite active politically. I'm a proud member of the Liberal Party. And when it's election season, I'm fighting hard to stop those lefties from ruining our society. So there we go. Noble, as always.
Always, you've got greater than you issues that you can attend to.
Oh, exactly. I know at times I'm a walking contradiction. I'm full of issues, but also, I don't know. At the end of the day, I take the point is if you're doing stuff, granted you'll make mistakes, at least you're doing something. It's better than doing nothing and just thinking about the next move.
You're invested in life, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people are not. They sit on the lounge and watch a bit of TV,
Yeah.
and they're sucked into, you know, all
Yeah.
the stuff
And
that's
if
on
I'm
there.
wrong and if I'm wrong on something and someone proves me wrong, I'll admit it and change my viewpoint. No problem.
Yep, same here. Yeah,
No problem. But if
agreed.
someone's just
That's
telling
good.
me to think a certain way because if I don't, I'm a racist or this or that. No, no deal. I'm not gonna let the culture bully me into thinking a certain way.
No, that's right. And there are groups of people that try to impose
Oh, yeah.
their views on others, and that's not the right way.
Oh, terrible. Yeah.
And
And the world's full of that now. The world, one criticism I make of our current realities have all these different groups of people who are busy trying to impose their worldview on other people, right? And if you don't do it, you're anti this, anti this, anti this, right? And the take I have it is that believe whatever you want to believe, but you've got no right to tell me what to believe.
no,
So a
people,
very libertarian stance I'm giving here.
no, I agree. But there comes a point where people believe stuff based on flimsy
Yeah,
information,
totally.
and
Totally.
that's that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because they go, oh, I don't want you to tell me what to do. I do this,
Awesome.
but
Good
they're
for you.
doing yeah, exactly. But
Good for you.
you got to be open-minded to look at something and see what it is and what it isn't and what's it based
But
on, and then you can make an
a lot of
informed
people aren't
decision.
open-minded. And that's okay. If you want to be close-minded, you can do that.
Well, that's right. But
Yeah.
it's about learning about all sorts of things. It's like learning, about your environment, learning about
Yeah.
who you vote for, learning about what you're
Yeah.
eating and putting in your body. It's
Totally.
about making informed decisions and knowing that you've made the right decision. And then you can be happy in your life. So many people have mental health problems, and that's because they're not living the life that is really their life. They're living someone else's life.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've all done that. I've most certainly done that.
Well, yeah, I've done that. And that's why I want to change the system, because the system doesn't help people live their own life, because they're not shown how to.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So that's why I love your work, Kristine, best.
Thanks, Ed. And it's been really interesting and a pleasure to interview you today. And as with all of us, you've got some more changes to make with your wellness lifestyle. And that's what I want to impress on people, that everyone's at different levels of wellness, and it doesn't matter where you are, you can work towards a better level of wellness.
Yeah, totally with you.
And people that are successful in business, as you are, have issues just like everybody else. And I'm just hoping that people who watch this interview will learn something that they can take away and implement in their own life to improve it.
Oh, yeah. I gotta say, whoever's watching this, you're awesome. Do you think the people watching this interview are awesome, Kristine? I do.
If people are watching this, they're awesome. They're taking
if
an
you watch it
interest.
this far, you're even more awesome. If you've watched it this far.
Yeah, that's right. They haven't clicked the end button.
Yeah, if you're watching it. If you see it at this point, you are an amazing human being, an individual.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because they're interested to learn and take something away, and I think that's very commendable. So, thank you very much for spending your time today, Ed. And you have an awesome day, won't you? Because can you see that?
Energizing? You are energized. Oh, amazing. Yes.
You are amazing.
Yes.
So you have an amazing day, and thank you for sticking around and watching. You have an awesome day as well. Bye.